Horror Story 1: Whispers from the Ward. I never believed in ghosts until that night in the ruins of Blackwood Asylum. It was supposed to be a quick urban exploration for my blog, abandoned since the 70s after reports of patient abuse and mysterious deaths. The air hung heavy with decay, like wet earth mixed with something metallic, as if the walls themselves were bleeding rust. My flashlight cut through the dust motes, illuminating faded graffiti and crumbling plaster. I was alone, or so I thought, my footsteps echoing unnaturally loud in the empty corridors. As I pushed deeper into the east wing, where the isolation cells were, a faint scratching started. Not like rats, more deliberate, like nails on chalkboard, coming from behind a rusted door. My heart pounded. I told myself it was the wind, but the building was sealed tight. Curiosity won over fear, and I pried the door open. Inside, the room was barren except for a single metal bed frame bolted to the floor. The scratching stopped, replaced by a whisper, soft, almost childlike. They left me here. I froze, skin prickling. No one was there. I spun around, beam shaking, but the shadows seemed to shift, like figures just out of sight. Paranoia set in fast. Every creak felt like footsteps trailing me. I remembered the true stories I'd read. Patients locked away for treatments that drove them mad, some vanishing without records. Was this one of them? The whispers grew louder, multiplying into a chorus of pleas, help us, they forgot us. My phone died suddenly. No signal, no light. In the pitch black, I felt cold fingers brush my arm, not grabbing, but tracing, like mapping my veins. I bolted, heart slamming, but the corridors twisted, doors slamming shut behind me. When I finally burst out into the night gasping, I looked back. Through a broken window, I swear I saw pale faces watching, their eyes hollow with unending accusation. The asylum was demolished weeks later, but those whispers echo in my dreams. What if they weren't ghosts, but echoes of the living hell those walls witnessed? The mind can trap you worse than any cell.
The Night Watchman's Vigil. Hired as a security guard for the derelict Hawthorne Institute, I figured it was easy money. Patrol the grounds of this forgotten mental hospital, scare off trespassers, clock out at dawn. Built in the 1800s, it shut down after a fire killed dozens, with rumors of experiments on the insane. The place reeked of mildew and old smoke, even decades later. My first shift started at midnight, the moon casting long shadows over ivy-choked walls. I paced the halls with my radio crackling static, the silence broken only by distant drips from leaking pipes. Around 2 a.m., the unease hit. A low humming, like muffled singing, drifted from the old electroshock therapy room. I approached, flashlight steady, but my breath fogged unnaturally cold. The door was ajar, and inside, faded restraints hung from a gurney like limp snakes. The humming stopped, but then came laughter, giddy, unhinged, echoing from the vents. Join the session, a voice giggled, sounding up multiple people overlapping. I backed away, rationalizing it as echoes or wind, but my mind raced to the true accounts. Doctors who pushed boundaries, patients screaming through cures that left them broken. The night escalated. Lights I hadn't turned on flickered in distant rooms, casting silhouettes of hunched figures shuffling in circles. My radio buzzed with garbled pleas, make it stop, the buzzing in my head. Isolation clawed at me. No one answered my calls for backup.
When I tried to leave, the main gate wouldn't budge as it locked from the inside. In the mirror of a shattered bathroom, my reflection grinned back wider than I was. Eyes not mine, wild, accusatory. Panic surged. I smashed the window to escape, cutting my hand on glass, but the pain grounded me. By morning, the gate was opened, like nothing happened. I quit. But sometimes at night, I hear that humming, feel that electric buzz under my skin. Were those the echoes of tormented souls? Or did the asylum's madness seep into me? Sanity is fragile in places like that.
Echoes of the Forgotten Wing. My grandmother's diary led me to Elmwood Asylum, abandoned after a scandal in the 50s where patients were subjected to lobotomies gone wrong. She was a nurse there, and her entries spoke of shadows that moved on their own. I went alone at dusk, armed with a camera, driven by a need to uncover her untold story. The building loomed like a skeletal giant, windows like empty eyes staring into the fading light. Inside, the air was thick with dust and a faint antiseptic tang, stirring memories I didn't have. Exploring the forbidden West Wing, sealed off after incidents, I found yellowed files scattered like confetti, names of the lost, procedures marked experimental. A chilled draft carried a scent of ether, then a soft sobbing from down the hall. My pulse quickened. I followed it to a petted room, walls scarred with desperate scratches. The sobbing stopped as I entered, but a figure materialized in the corner, not solid, but a haze, like heat distortion, resembling a woman in a nurse's uniform. They cut out the pain, it murmured, voice cracking like old tape. Dread built as visions flashed, my grandmother's face performing those procedures, her hands trembling. The entity drew closer, its form shifting to mimic her, eyes bleeding yet vengeful. You carry her guilt. Paranoia gripped me. Every shadow whispered accusations, floors creaking as if the building itself was alive, closing in. I fled, but tripped over something. A locket, hers, with a photo inside, showing her smiling before the horrors broke her. Outside, safe but shaken, I realized the twist. The ghost was my own projection, fueled by inherited trauma. Or was it? The diary's last entry. The asylum doesn't let go. Now I see her in mirrors, a reminder that some horrors are passed down, unescapable. Subscribe for more chilling tales.